Welcome back to another episode of Positively Uncensored, your favorite reality TV and interview podcast. It's your host, Leah. And today we are going to be diving into the interview that Kiki Palmer did with both Taylor and Nick, Ace who no showed. And we will also be getting into Alandria's 2 hour live stream that she did when Nick came on just yesterday. Now, Leah, why are you doing these lives so last minute? Well, number one, because New Jersey's weather loves to play games, loves to play games. So when I have a moment of availability because it's raining and I'm not outside, that's when I decide to hop on. Also, I get very nervous the more that people are on. If I give less time, there's less people on. Is that bad for business? Yes. Is it good for me? Yes. Yes. Like the longer that I sit on, the more comfortable I get. So when I don't plan it out and I start out with just several people, that gives me enough time to get comfortable. Now, I want to let everybody know that I will be on for about 45 minutes. This is going to be a relatively quick live, reason being, I'm shaky. I'm shaky. I think I have low blood sugar and I need to eat. So I will be getting off at 1. I'm going to try to hold to that. So about 40, 45 minutes, just enough time to give my reaction to Taylor, give my reaction to the things that I liked that Nick said during the live, and then get into Alandria's live. First of all, if you're listening on Spotify, I'm seeing my chat. So I want to say hello to people. Hello, Nisi. Hello, Priya. Hello, Chop. Two P's. I'm so happy that all of you are here. I'm so happy that everybody made it. Denise, hello. Oh my gosh, hello, hello, hello. I feel so loved. Alandria and the way that she interacts with us is everything, everything. I'm going to be talking about that when I get into her live. So Kiki's interview. I want to preface with this. Kiki Palmer in her own right is a millennial icon. Okay? Like I grew up with Kiki Palmer. I grew up like I think that her very first role was Aquila and the Bee. I watched that. Okay? Then I watched Are We There Yet? Was she in that? I watched pretty much everything with Kiki. So I grew up with Kiki. And I do recognize like there are some conversations that I just am not going to be the leader of. Like I recognize that there's very valid criticisms on her take with Jonathan Majors, on how she's done some of her interviews. So I'll leave those to other women to discuss. But I would like to acknowledge that I've heard those criticisms and I see them. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but I think that like I loved Kiki's interview with Shelly and Alandria. 2.2 million views, and she deserves every single view. I also think that Kiki's dealing with the timeline that she's dealt. Like, I think that production tells her, like, this is when you're able to do the interview, and this is when you're able to release the interview. And I don't necessarily think that it's her fault that she has to release interviews late. So I'd like to start with that. And that's because there's going to be a couple of criticisms, but it's not necessarily like on Kiki, but there were a couple of questions that I didn't love. And just overall, again, not her fault. I think that this is very much like producer control. I didn't learn very much. Like, I didn't learn very much. And then what's even more so, I don't like Taylor. And because I don't like Taylor, that really just sort of tainted the episode, if you would. And I was listening to hear small snippets of nice things that Nick said about Alandria, if I'm being honest. Like, that's what I was listening for. I could really care less about anything that Taylor had to say. However, Taylor had a lot of audacity. He had a lot of audacity. So I'm going to be talking about all of that. But I want to acknowledge Kiki's a legend. I grew up on her. Do I think that she does a phenomenal job as a host? I do. Do I think that some things we don't really discover and I wish we did, or conversations I wish we got to see that she had? Absolutely. Do I necessarily think that's her fault? No. Taylor talked the most, and I'm also seeing people agree that Kiki is a young legend. Okay, so let me pull up the interview really quickly. How do I do this? Okay, perfect. Okay, I have the interview up. So what I'm going to start with is one of the things that I learned the most. I'm going to start like pretty light. Like this is just something that I learned, didn't know before. And like when I had to think of what did I learn from the episode, for whatever reason, this was something that popped in my mind the most.
Thing that instantly makes you laugh, Nick snapping his toes. What?
That wasn't aired.
Oh,
I don't think.
you talking about like this?
No, like this. Like
he
snap
literally
with my toes.
he can snap his big toe and then the
Damn,
toe,
that's
his middle toe.
It's like a talent that
And it sounds like this. Swear.
When did you learn how to do that?
I hope it comes out, in the reunion. But
Go ahead and do it right now. Take
no,
off
I'm
the
not doing
socket.
it. No, I can't.
Honestly, I hope it comes out at the reunion too. Would I watch a subscriber only video of Nick snapping his toe? Unfortunately, yes. Would I like to see a game where if I had a show, okay, like let's just say I had my own Watch What Happens Live and I could conduct like random games with guests. Do I think it would be fun if there was a curtain and somebody was like to guess what sound is this? Wait, does it sound like that? Yeah. And is that Alandria clapping her butt, or is that Nick snapping his toes? What do you think? Like I would like to do random segments like that, but they both have hidden talents. Okay, continuing on. That's like that's like starting light. I like hearing the small things about what Nic and Olandria have been doing in their downtime and like how they're just enjoying being a couple and like not interacting with us. So here's one interesting moment. Let me go ahead a little bit. Now, a lot of this we already know. And again, that's not a criticism of KeKe. That's just sort of how things work. But this we already know. Nonetheless, it was fun to listen to. Also, let me point out the blue eyeshadow and the Hayley Williams red or orange, KeKe looks stunning.
On the couch, like that's something I've wanted since a long time in the villa. Like you don't really get to have that. Yeah. So like those little moments that you do in a regular life is nice to have after the villa.
What movie did y'all watch?
We watched Medea.
Come on, Medea.
Yeah.
I love Medea, baby.
The new one.
The new one I just watched.
Alandria having Nick watch Medea. I think it was Medea's family reunion too. Very funny. Very funny that that's how they spent their night relaxing. I would love to see them. Like, I don't want to see them, right? Like, that's just me being selfish, but I would at least like to hear details about their first night where they watch anime, which is something that they talk about on their live stream, which I may or may not show a clip of soon. Okay, going ahead. This is where Taylor starts to like get some audacity.
Here right now. Maybe when I see Alandria again, Spark's gonna come back.
See, and the crazy thing is, so like when Casa first happened, and I chose Coco and I had a conversation with Coco.
Yeah.
We were in the bathroom having a conversation. I was like, bro, this reminds me of Alandria all over again. Like I'm talking to Alandria all over again. Alandria is still in my head.
Okay.
I don't know that Taylor's last bit of the sentence is what he actually meant. Like I could give some grace and try to just take things exactly as he said them. So let me know in the chat, in the comments as you listen back to this later. You can obviously feel free to criticize me if you think potentially that I'm projecting or just reading too far into things. But from my recollection, what I remember is when Taylor talked about that, it felt like he was saying something negative about Alandria. Like, first of all, it was very off-putting for you to compare Coco to Alandria in the first place. No girl wants to be compared to somebody. Then it was even more awkward for you to make that comparison in what seemed like a negative way. And I didn't get the impression that that by being with Coco, he was essentially triggered and thinking further of Alandria. I got the sense that he wanted to experience something different than being with Alandria. for whatever problem or hang up he had in that relationship. And so he then went with Clark. And then exactly, Taylor starts confidently in the first end of the sentence, then he goes, oh, and then we were doing like this. And it's like when that happens with anybody, that's how you know. What? Why can't you enunciate the last part? You don't feel confident in that part. You try to make sure people don't hear that part. I wonder why. But yeah, I don't like, I could try to give him grace and take things for as he said them, but I got the impression that when he said that, he was throwing shade. So like already that annoyed me.
Hey.
And they were just like, yo, like this is the experience, this is Casa. Like we need you to go out there and just like Ariana said, forget about everything, like start clean slate.
Ariana love telling y'all forget about everything.
I'm like, and then he's blaming Ariana. Oh, look, so now it's Ariana's fault. Ariana told you to forget about everything. Start with a clean slate. Okay, trust your own judgment, but okay.
Love saying
she
that.
love doing that.
And I was like, they can remind me like, yo, like this is Casa, like this is what the experience is for. It's for like to see if like that's really real and like if you could find something else.
Yeah.
And so I was like, right. But the whole time, Ace was like, how'd you feel sleeping in the bed with somebody else? And I was like, bro, it felt weird. Like I miss Alandria. You know?
My God.
And it was
The rewriting of history. Do I believe that editors don't show certain things? It doesn't support their narrative. Yes. Do I think that with Love Island, I don't want to give editors too much grace or like too much, too much faith, but I feel like they're trying to tell the story of what they're seeing, right? So I don't necessarily think that while Alandria was gone, you were singing her praises and like unable to lean into the experience of Casa. You know what I mean? Like, I don't personally feel like that. Now, again, are they going to show us all the moments where the guys aren't sure if they want to participate in Casa? No, because that's not interesting. But I'm reluctant to believe that. And that's what I'll leave that at.
just like getting Alandria out of my head for me to be able to even like explore Clark. It was weird, but it was something that I had to do. But like at the end of the day, like I really didn't want to swear anybody. So I was like, I miss Alandria, y'all. Like Alandria's still in my head, and they kept saying like, you got to get her.
Alandria was still in your head, yet then you were able to get her so completely out of your head. You like turned your head to the side and like knocked it out because then you were with Clark after 3 days. It's just very confusing. I saw a comment in the chat that says that my hair looks cute, and I did in fact try something new and tried to copy what my hairstylist did for me. So thank you very much for saying that.
Right, your head, you can't.
We didn't even get to see that enough. Like I've been seeing some moments, but it did seem like.
And that might be because it didn't happen. Like that might be because that moment didn't happen. It might be because it didn't. That's me trying to not be a hater. But I think that there's a little bit of revisionist history going on here, right? Right. Okay, moving forward. Nic talks about when he felt connected to Alandria or like interested in Alandria.
Since minute one of the villa, I was like, this is someone I'm interested in. Whether she knows it or like when she kissed me on the heart the first day, like whether she knew it or not, like how can Alandria not be someone's type?
That's
never heard a truer statement. Never heard a truer statement. Minute one. Yes. Moment one. Yes. How could someone not be Alandria's type? Taylor. Like, I felt like that was like some sly shade at Taylor. This is a criticism of KeKe, I guess, but maybe she did ask it. Maybe she felt like it would be too uncomfortable. I'm not sure, but I would have loved to hear at some point in this interview, just let's address the elephant in the room. How are the two of you friends? Nic, how are you able to maintain a friendship with someone? And it's not even jealousy that's X, right? But how are you able to maintain a friendship with someone who harmed your girlfriend, who was part of the reason, who was part of her energy being so drained in the first half of the experience? Like, how can you still have such a good impression of Taylor? I would have loved to hear that explained. Like, I would have just loved to hear that talked about at some point during the episode.
What I mean?
And that's 1000% true.
Like I don't know
who wouldn't be
exactly.
No, it's for real.
So,
Yeah.
and I even told Taylor, like, maybe it was a few
facts.
weeks in, like, Alandria is someone I've been wanting to explore. Like, I'm hurt. Like, that's someone I secretly admire. And I mean, I don't remember what you said, but
Yeah.
probably was awkward.
Yeah, right. Yeah, y'all moved on. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
everything is going so fast. And this
Somebody said that that was a bold question. And I do sometimes ask very bold questions when I interview people. So that's potentially why people might not want to come back if they get asked a very bold question. So I respect that. I respect that, and wanting to keep things light, if you will, keep things not awkward. I'm just unable to help myself. Okay, let's go forward a little bit. 27. If you're listening back to this and there's moments of silence, just let that be your reminder to pay attention to the road. Keep cleaning. Keep doing whatever you're doing.
He was doing with Huda, cutting off every single woman. And then you see, like, the hickey thing where Jeremiah has a hickey, and it's like, you're cutting off every single bombshell.
Okay, so what's happening right now is they were asked to explain what they thought was the similarity between what Taylor thought was the similarity between how Jeremiah was pursuing Huda to how Jeremiah was pursuing Andreina. And Taylor does like a horrible job at trying to explain it, essentially. So Nick jumps in and he's explaining what Ace and Taylor thought about the relationship because Taylor did a bad job of explaining it. Just to give you some background as to what Nick is talking about.
That comes in here by having that on your neck.
he kind of was
And
blowing up the spot.
so I think for him,
I
it wasn't,
guess.
maybe, who knows what his intentions were with Andrina, but at the end of the day, it was like how he moved in the past that like judged the way he was going to move in the future.
Yeah.
So they felt like because he was quick to cut things off for Huda, and then he was quick to lock in with Andreina. That's what Nick is explaining. Now, Nick also says that he doesn't really agree with that, and KeKe does push back. It just doesn't make sense, right? And KeKe does do a good job of pushing back in this moment. I don't want to get copyright tagged for playing too much of the episode, so I'm attempting to play clips. But she essentially says, it's just confusing. Jeremiah has even said in interviews after the villa that he was told, don't lock in with Huda, stop putting your energy there, do the experience and explore someone else. And then they sent in someone, allegedly the description of what he said he was interested in, whom he said he was interested in, his type, if you will. And then they were upset at him for that, And the comments being made, we could say the same thing about Nick with Baldasha to Cierra, to his brief obsession with Andreina. Like so many people in the villa moved similarly. We could talk the same thing about Hannah, whom they did send home. And that's why this season there was a real conversation of, is closing off the kiss of death? Like that's really where this started with, right? Like I think it started with Jeremiah. Oh my gosh, I got my first super chat. Lisa, thank you. That is so nice. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I've never gotten a super chat before. I was just watching Jessie Woo's live, by the way, and her picking up her foot when she got like gifted very generous amounts. I cackled. I think Jessie's hilarious. Let it be known that I would love to do an episode with both Jessie and Blue. There's a comment with another perspective. Although I disagree, I understand what they were saying. They think he was moving too fast on both situations, but it's none of their business. That's the thing. It's really none of their business to be so involved in other people's journeys. And that's what I thought was interesting. That's what I thought was interesting. Thank you so much, Lisa. You say, I love your commentary, always non-biased. Thank you. Okay, so moving ahead just a little, sorry, my ADHD. I think the next moment I was okay. I know it has to be asked, right? I know it has to be asked. I know that we have to talk about sea air. I know we have to, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I just don't want to hear about her. I just don't want to hear about her. The only thing that I would want to hear is, what was your final words? Has there been any contact? And if so, what was the extent of that contact? That's what I would want to hear. Other than that, I don't know that I care. I don't know that I care. But let's hear what he's asked and what he has to say.
It's gone, and now I'm on to new love, but that probably really wasn't what it was.
Right.
It's just not what we saw. So how did that moment hit all of you guys and you specifically?
I mean, that moment hit hard, like when you don't know what the reasons are, but I was like truly considering leaving, but at the same time, you don't know.
Like, I could have gone my whole life without hearing that again. Like, I know it's true, but I could have gone my whole life without hearing it.
Whether or not, like, if I were to leave
But let me acknowledge the fact, I do hate when a man breaks up with someone, splits apart with someone, whatever, discontinues that relationship, and then talks really negatively about them. So if that's something, I think that it shows that they either harbor resentment or are just like have low self-esteem. So I do appreciate the fact that he's not just like saying very negative things about her, right? I do appreciate that.
values of whatever that situation was don't align with me. I mean, that's the reason I stayed and chose to keep continuing my like journey in Love Island, because I don't know what it was, and I don't know if that's something that aligns with me.
Again, it's not a question that would be comfortable to ask, and maybe it's not even a question that's appropriate. Maybe this doesn't need to be something that's ever asked, and I can take feedback if somebody says that in the comments. But like, I would just be curious if questions were submitted, Watch What Happens Live style, when Andy's going to be chatting with someone or before a reunion, and the questions were just read off, anonymous. I just wonder, Nick, what did you think? What did everybody think when they heard what Cierra had said? What did you think? I don't believe that aligns with your values, but does it? Like, just like the outright questions, because also I'm going to be adding this to my bingo card. Again, maybe not the proper setting, but to just leave it not addressed ever feels remiss. Austin should be asked at some point about his values. Like, at some point, I need Austin to be asked why he thinks he deserved to stay on the show. Do you feel like you went undetected? Do you feel like you deserve to be on the show, given your values, given your hateful political propaganda that you've posted and the harmful sentiments that you've had? I would just like to hear more direct questions asked, but not by KeKe, right? Like, I'm not going to put that on her, but like, yeah, by someone like Andy, by somebody like Andy, because I'm going to be honest. No, I would ask Austin that. I would easily ask Austin that. But I'm just curious, like, I'm just curious about those very direct questions.
I have her back at all. How did y'all feel about that?
I ain't seen none of her podcast, so you
ain't heard about none of this?
Nah, but
she specifically said you were. No, I'm just playing.
You get messy now.
Kiki is so funny at parts during this episode where she tries to get the details. She tries.
But she did ultimately. I'm not gonna quote her to the T.
Yeah.
But she was saying that she felt bullied on the show. So my question is, did y'all feel she was bullied?
And for everybody who's listening, just in case you're not watching, this question is regarding Huda's appearance on Call Her Daddy, just because I cut the first part of the question. And how did they feel when they heard that Huda said that she was being bullied? And why I'm laughing is what they try to do, not just Nick and Taylor, what the Islanders try to do is say, I didn't see that. As like, I'm just going to use the word cop out because I cannot think of another word, even though I hate to use any word with the word cop in it, to be honest. But it's almost like a cop out of like, well, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I can't give an informed opinion. Well, hold on. Don't you worry. Don't worry. Things are gonna get right in front of you. Like, I would play the clip. Don't worry. Play. Or like, don't worry. I just told you everything that she said. You don't have to worry about not hearing everything or making an uninformed opinion. I'm going to read you bar for bar, word for word, everything that she said. And I want to hear your reaction, your response. You don't need to watch it, the full thing. I'm telling you right now, this is what they said. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't hear her say it come out of her mouth, so you don't have an opinion? Well, we're telling you. We're telling you right now. Don't try to be slick. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Not
By
to
anybody?
me, like, I try to hit her kind of before all her bullshit. You feel me? Like, I was like, yo, if you go back to Jeremiah and it's another voting we got to pick, I ain't picking your ass. Like, I'm sending you home.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, like, I always keep it. I was probably like one of the main ones.
I do appreciate that part. And when I could tolerate Taylor when he was with Alandria, I'm like, yeah, because somebody has to tell her, Taylor, go look in there. What is she doing? What did we just talk about?
I kept it 100 with her and told her what it is and what it ain't.
Yeah, yeah. And what about you?
I always try to like keep it P with her and so like tell her straight.
This may be aging me, but keep it P is something. Keep it P. Keep it PG. Keep it plausible deniability. Keep it poised. Keep it pretty. Keep it punctual. Keep it party. I don't know. Keep it P. Keep it P. He tried to keep it. I'm assuming that means keep it honest with her. He tried to keep things honest with her. He tried to keep it real with her. Keep it P. Keep it player. Okay. Well, I'm not going to start saying that. Don't worry. But I had never heard of that. Nick's wearing a labubu. Okay. Like he's up on
Up how I
things.
felt about her and Jeremiah. Like I said it many times that relationship was so draining on me, like week 2. And
do you think that bullying comment was made towards the girls?
I think it was definitely more towards the girls. I think Huda and I.
This is the moment where I was like, cut it out. Cut it out. Cut. And this is only because I know. What are we saying? I know Hoodake HQ is going to take that and run. I know they will. I know we're going to get a Hoodake from them taking that comment because they're 14 years old. He's 14 years old. I'm sorry, they're 14 years old. So they're going to hear that and be like, see, he confirmed. Or like, what's like a more, see, he confirmed. He confirmed, see? He was bullied. She was bullied. Stop talking. Stop talking. I'm not going to lie. I was really frustrated with Nick during this part. Like, I'm not going to try to like downplay my feelings. I was actually very frustrated with Nick after this interview. But then I saw Nic and Olandria together on live. And then I remembered that she is feeling safe and comfortable with him and like she's able to rely on him. But here's what I'll say. At the time of this interview, Nick needed a lot more media training and he needed a lot more awareness to understand that he's dating a Black woman whom anything that you say could be used against her to vilify her. You know what I mean? Like, and I think he needs to, and I think he's doing a better job at this being very intentional with his words to not give a sound bite, to not give a clip, but I don't enjoy like his lack of awareness because I think he should have known better and tried to protect her more. And I wish he like let's say they didn't have their phones back at the time of this interview. Okay. But if you've been online and if you've seen the vitriol, you should be like Alandria and Shelley were accused of walking on eggshells, but respectfully, Nick, walk on eggshells more, right? Like, I need you to just button it up, be online less, be more intentional with your words, and you really need to go out of your way to protect Alandria. And that's the thing. Like I noticed in recent interviews, whether it was Good Morning America or potentially Watch What Happens Live, I noticed that when there was clickbait questions or controversial questions where they could potentially take a sound bite, I noticed that Nick answered. And without Alandria even having to turn her head to defer towards him, it was clear that she was grateful that he answered the question, but he answered and he gave his opinion and disconnected her from things or controlled the situation. And that is what he needed to do in this interview. It's just disappointing to see. And a lot of people are like very critical of Ace, but I think, in my earnest opinion, I think that Ace is very aware of how already as a Black man, he saw himself declared the ringleader when that wasn't accurate. And he saw how he was edited by production. So I think that Ace is aware of when he speaks, the ability to run with things. And I think he's very intentional with whom he gives his time to and whom he talks with because he doesn't want to be put in a position to where he's not controlling the narrative. And I almost feel like him not showing up for this interview was an effort to control things for Shelley and to not say anything that could be used against Shelley, especially given the volatility surrounding. Now, I'm not entirely sure because, you know, Shelley did do a couple of appearances where she was on her own. And I'm sure it would have been nice to have his support, but I'm very hard pressed to believe that they don't have an agreement between the two of them as a couple to where she's comfortable with the decisions that's being made. And yeah, like I just think Ace is doing a good job of giving no room to say something untoward about Shelley, to sit no room to imply that something that Shelley did was not for good reason or not justified. So I just need Nick to have that. Like I need Nick to have that. I'm not giving up on him. I'm not saying that he's no, let's call it for what it is. If he doesn't curtail that, he's not being as safe as a space as Alandria deserves for him to be. You know what I mean? So that's what I'll say. And again, I've seen the discernment change, and I don't know if he's dated Black women before. I would guess that he hasn't, but the change needs to happen fast. And it's very unfortunate that it wasn't anticipated prior to this. But exactly. I do to read some of my comments. This was a month ago. He has been protecting Alandria in the past few weeks. I see him trying. I do too. Right? Like it's like I see the shift, and that's why I hate that this part was left in the episode. I hate that. I wish it wasn't. Take it out.
Had a conversation with Chris about how she was feeling.
But I will say he was with Cierra at the time of this occurrence. So in his mind, and again, this is a lapse of judgment on Nick's part, he's probably thinking back to Cierra's actions, but he's with Alandria now, so he should have known that it's going to be encompassing her as well. Really, that's my opinion.
That the girls were ganging up on her. but I don't like if there's bullying. Like I'm not for that at all. I don't know if there was bullying or not, but at some point
But you didn't see any.
I think no, but at some point I do think it was definitely divided between the girls and Huda, and I don't know.
So he does say he does not see any bullying happen. Again, that needed to be reiterated. And he does change the wording. Is there bullying? Is there isolation? No, there's a separation, and for good reason. So he's trying, right? He's 23 or 24. But yeah.
I don't know if it's called bullying, but there were.
And then I misspeak. Right on live. I don't know if it's called bullying. Like that, I could have, like, Kiki's reaction, that was a moment. Like that was something that I just wish she didn't say.
Reasons for that, and maybe the girls were grouping up together on her. I don't support that.
I should have just let the clip play more. That's where he really pissed me off. I don't support that. Why? If your teacher does something horrible to the class and all 17 people stand up and say, "You're fucked. You're delusional. Actually, we're dropping your class. Actually, we're reporting you." Is that bullying? You can group up for good reason. That's how protests start. You know what I mean? Like you can group up together for a good cause. the 24-year-old in him, I just wish that he watched his wording.
Told even Cierra, like, just relax on her. She's still a girl at the end of the day. She has emotions. And yeah, so.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like he's reflecting on his time with Cierra because that's at the time that happened. But because he's with Alandria, I know that moment's going to get taken and ran with. I know that it will. Right? But exactly. I watched their live yesterday. I see that Nic has been making a lot more concentrated effort to be intentional. I think he's had more media training. I think he's being more intentional, especially after seeing just the volatility on Alandria's phone and the comments from Huda's supporters. So I do think he's doing a good job with that. However, because I'm going to watch this and be honest, I'm still going to acknowledge that at the time of this interview, it's clear that he needed more work with that. Does that mean that he's disingenuous? No. But it's clear at the time of this interview that he wasn't where he is right now. They look like they're in a great place. Thank you, Denise. I love the fact that Alandria can depend on him. I like the fact that he has brought her along for the brand trips, but I'm at least just going to point out my thoughts just to be honest, because I think that if I just say because Alandria is happy or because I enjoy them together or because I like Nic or because I see him doing better now, I feel like it would be a lie for me to not act like certain comments I could have done without. You know what I mean? But absolutely. I do want to make it clear. I don't even want to bring this in, but I've heard it talked about, so I'm going to add it. I hate the people drawing comparisons and saying comments like Nic is Kenny. Let's fucking not. Let's not, okay? Because those comments feel anti-Black. And it feels like you just can't believe that Nic is attracted to Alandria the same way it felt like people couldn't believe that Kenny was attracted to Janae. And that's not what we're going to be doing. Not on my watch. Alandria held a pen during her live, so I'm holding a pen during my live. But yeah, I hate people drawing those comparisons and acting like Nic is like, let's not. Like, we're not even going to do that over here. Okay, going forward a little bit. There's a part I wanted to here about the group text. Let's see.
Some family assistant Nico, she's about to learn that some summers change everything.
She come to me and I ain't finna sugarcoat with her. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like she was like one of the bros to me. And
Yeah.
so
Okay, where is what I wanted to talk about? Hold on.
Clark has no problem with Alandria. Like,
Yeah.
on
I
the
know
show,
when
they
Alandria was on,
friends.
she was talking about watching back on the show and feeling like Clark maybe was shady to her. Obviously, that's girls,
See,
girl
and that's
language.
the thing. If y'all watch that and y'all catch like that side eye that everybody talking about, Clark was another swimsuit. She wasn't in the same swimsuit they was before they cut that.
I will be rewatching that to see if she was in a different swimsuit. But like again, Taylor, this does sound like a little bit of damage control, a little bit of revisionist history. I'm trying to get to the part, I saw that my chat, LOL. I'm trying to get to the part where they talk about the fact that there is no group chat right now between everyone because there is tension in the group. How do I get there?
I don't think it's gonna go too well, but
Yeah.
I'm down for everybody to have a group chat. Like, we have one big ass group chat with everybody. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it'll be cute, but if it ain't happening, it ain't happening.
Oh, like Pepe and Hannah. I don't know if like they would talk. Like,
oh yeah, how about that?
Wow.
like not because they don't like each. I don't know. I'm just like
Yeah.
throwing out there.
Pepe and Hannah. I wonder if we will see a moment between Hannah and Pepe. Like, I was assuming that because Hannah was hanging out with Pepe and Iris and sort of like doing a third wheel, if you will, like whatever that's called, like hanging out with them, I sort of felt like they were okay. Like, I sort of felt like they were okay. So I sort of would be shocked at that, but not
Yeah.
really.
I mean, it's interesting when you were talking about the whole Huda stuff and everything. Like, you were really honest with her. And I know with Shelly and Landry, they felt like just that sometimes when they were trying to be honest or do what maybe the guys would do, their comments will be taken a little bit differently. Do you
Absolutely. I'm glad Kiki mentions that.
feel like that? Do you feel like, they were kind of coming at the situations the same way as you guys, but they wouldn't get the same response?
Not. I think it was more like guys and girls think totally different.
No, it was exactly what she just said. No. It was exactly what she just said. It was the selective outrage. It was tone policing. It was misogyny. Whatever word you want to insert. No. Look at the way Nick is looking at Taylor.
And so like,
Look at the way Kiki is looking at Taylor. Okay?
when we give a response, it's not what they're thinking. Like, for the longest, we didn't understand why they sent Hannah home.
They sent him, I'm going to go forward a little bit. Let's see. Okay. There was one thing. Let's see.
We didn't even say that. I think me and Ace had more than like them conversations where we're just like, bro, like we really can't talk how we really want to talk. You know?
Right.
Like, we can't say what we really want to say because then.
So Kiki had asked Taylor, and again, this isn't something that I should be like the orchestrator of this conversation. I would just like to comment on it. Kiki asked Taylor, was Alandria able to come to you, or did Alandria come to you, and just talk about how she's navigating her experience as a Black woman on reality TV in this space, like how it's impacting her experience? And he's like, no, she didn't. I think if anything, me and Ace talked about that. And again, this isn't my area to have very many comments. I just like to point out that because I try to uplift Black women with my content. What do you mean she wasn't able to talk to you? Like that, like, are you a safe space or not? She was able to sit there and talk to Tish Cyrus, a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's rich. You know what I mean? So it's just very telling that he wasn't a safe space for Alandria to have to confide in. Like, that's what's interesting. And it also seemed like to me, again, not my place, just an observation. It seemed to me like that hadn't even occurred to Taylor. I don't know, but it seemed like he was very much conscientious of his journey, and that hadn't occurred to him. Thank you, Soft and Spicy. Taylor did not provide Alandria with any emotional support. None. And at every turn tried to humble her. Well, maybe you don't have a handshake because nobody likes you. Your sense of humor isn't cute. It's not cute. It's not nice. Whoever told you to nag people, is that what it's called? Like you're like being mean to somebody, but you want them to know you like them. That's not nice. That's not nice. It's like when Austin said that his go-to move was to knock a drink out of a girl's hand at a bar. Why? Why? So I just did think that's a point to mention, and it makes me feel even more for Alandria and the time she spent with Taylor, because he really wasn't there for her in any capacity. Let's go forward a little to there's a couple lies during this segment. Let's see.
Like when we had to vote on who to keep out, what was it, Vanna, Coco, and her? My answer is Alandria. Like,
Was it? Was it? That's not what we saw. That's not what we saw.
I want to keep her. Like, that's something I still want to explore.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to just like, I'm not throwing what we had that 3 weeks. I'm not finna just throw that away. Like,
Yeah.
we built a strong connection for 3 weeks. We went over a lot of obstacles that whole 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I really did like grow to like her. Like, in the challenges when he out here kissing her, low key, I'm like, it's a challenge, but in my head, I'm like, I'm mad as you know. So it's just like, and neither, yeah.
That was a really weird moment. As quiet as it's kept, that was a very weird moment. A lot of people are saying that they don't believe Taylor. I do. I do. And I think that that's really strange. I do think that he was coupled up with Alandria and potentially a little possessive of her. I think it's strange that he never told Nick that prior. I think it's strange that he was sitting there like silently enraged but never said anything. And I think that that has something to do with why he tried to humble Alandria just like out of nowhere. I think he's the type of person who festers over something and lets that, and although they're not bringing it up directly, you're still being I don't know what word other to use than punished, but you're still being reprimanded for that. Okay, that's how I read that. Skipping forward just a little bit more.
Off on you, like, what was your real feedback and your thought?
This is when this is when Taylor's asked his thoughts to when Alandria went off on him. I don't know about Leah personally, from Positively Uncensored. I don't think Alandria went off on Taylor. I think that Alandria told Taylor her thoughts, opinions, as she should. That's what I think. Leah.
I was like, where this coming from? Because like
where's it coming from? Well, dear God, are you there, God? It's me. It's coming from God. Like what? It's coming from the voice from above. It's coming from Alandria. It's coming from your actions. It's coming from, yeah, I'm not going to let my 3-week connection die down over 3 days. You publicly humiliated her. You led her on. You allegedly gave her all of these nice compliments and stuff and made it, but yet you gave no effort. Like all of a sudden we see effort with Clark. Alandria had to plan the one date that you guys went on. Yes, you're being dishonest. I don't know if you're being delusional or if you're being intellectually dishonest.
we had conversations the day before that, and I told her exactly how I was feeling. I told her I was feeling Clark.
I wish to God this interview had dropped before the reunion. I doubt it. I doubt it. You told her explicitly that you're going to pick Clark. And nonetheless, even if you did, do you think that that makes it so that she can't have a reaction when it happens? Like, you're publicly humiliating her and picking someone else and then leaving her vulnerable to go home, but you want her to privately talk to you. No.
She was like, why
You
you
act like you was gonna be open, but you was
but
being
let-
closed.
I wasn't even fully closed. It was just like I spent 3 weeks with with Alandria. So
Freudian slip.
it was like I only spent 3 days with Clark. So it's like
We know. We know. Like, the reminder is crazy. Like, we know.
if I keep spending more time with Alandria after I pick Clark, it's like, damn, like I should just send Clark home at that point. Like, it's not fair to Clark for me to spend majority of my time with Alandria after we already had 3 weeks and I had 3 days with Clark and I picked Clark. It's like I still need to like try to even that time out,
Yeah.
as much as I could.
Like, or you could just, if you felt that strongly, or you could just pick who your stronger connection was. That's what I mean. It's intellectually dishonest. It's dishonest. It's revisionist history. Exactly. When Taylor, I did catch that. When Taylor was on live with Clark and he said he'll be returning her expensive bags he purchased for her, I believe him. I believe him. The same way I believe him when he said that he was mad at Nick in those challenges. I believe him.
And that's what I tried to do. And so like when she went off on me, she was like, oh, like, so what is it about Clark? And I told her like, oh, she gave me this feeling that like the kid feeling that I didn't have with you, da da da. She's like, okay, cool. But then when I brought it up in front of everybody, then she goes off on me.
I can't have a kid feeling is still just so.
And I think there was also the bubbling of apparently hearing that you say you hadn't been attracted to her, which
Yeah. Hey, Taylor, that's a big part. Hey, Taylor, that's a really huge part, actually. That's a big part, Taylor. And that's not me making fun of Kiki. I'm sorry. That was just me like being annoying and telling Taylor. And yes, like Savannah said, like the live, y'all, like the live, y'all. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but if you know if you've listened to me, I have very bad ADHD. So if I get too entangled, I get distracted.
obviously, I mean, crazy, but I mean, where did that come from? What did they pull that from?
It was more of like, so like when I first covered up with her, she's pretty, have a good body, boom. But it's like I wasn't like physically attracted to her yet.
Mom, can you pick me up? This logic is making no sense. When I saw her, good body, beautiful, but I'm not physically attracted. That can't exist in the same sentence. Look at Kiki's face. Thank you. Kiki's eyes are visiting her brain right now in the back of her skull. And Taylor has no idea. I'm like the crypt keeper. Like, Taylor, what? You just said the two things that you look for when you try to find out if you're physically attracted: good face, good body. Boom, I'm attracted. Boom. Then later, if they have a shitty personality, you could be like, I'm physically attracted to them, but I'm not attracted to them. You're a liar. You're a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Like Taylor, you want to have a kid feeling? Liar, liar, pants are on fire. Like, fine, let's have a kid feeling.
But the more as like time went on, I'm like, damn, like I'm starting to grow that physical attraction to her. Like I started touching her more. I started,
I'm just gonna go forward. Like, I really can't listen to Taylor debate Alandria's beauty. Like, it's just too much. It's just too much. So let's go ahead a little. Like it's honestly just a little too frustrating, and I sat through it once before. I'm so sorry. I'm on a different screen, so if you're in the chat and you're upset, I apologize, but I can't listen to him. What is Nick about to say? He looks like he's about to say something.
And that's why she was like
Yeah,
upset
but
about that.
like we get the text, you have to get ready. So it's
Damn it, Nick. What the fuck did you just say?
Whatever
cool.
more happened with that, but I was curious of that storyline. They didn't give it to me though.
And I was like, cool. Like I'm not I'm not mad at you. Like it's day 2, like go do what you do, da da da. And the whole exploring Jalen, like I wasn't mad at her exploring Jalen, you know?
Yeah.
But
oh
then
yeah, Jalen.
but then like when I
I absolutely I don't know that it's my I don't know that I like if it's appropriate for me to say that, but that's exactly the vibe that I'm getting. It's colorism. It's the fact that you aren't attracted to Alandria because she's a dark-skinned Black woman. That's what it seems like. And it's gross. Quite frankly, it's very gross.
stood up for Cierra, one of the first things she came to me was like, "Oh, you could have sent me home." So in my head, I'm thinking like, "Okay, are you thinking for me to keep you here, or like, because it's still my experience too?" And one of the first things he told me is, "Oh, you left me vulnerable. I could have went home."
But I mean, at the same time, like you didn't tell her that you were gonna stand up for Cierra. I think that's why she was like
Yeah,
upset
but
about that.
like we get the text, you have to
Like he's just so argumentative even. Like I don't even know what they're talking about at that moment. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what conversation Nick and Taylor are having. And I think that because of the conversation that we're having now as well about what Taylor's real issue is, like I don't know that Nick realizes that, or if he does, like has the language to express that, or if it would even be appropriate and is realizing that that's part of it. But like it's the way that Taylor treated Alandria, and it's the way that he's justifying in his mind that treatment. Like it's just very frustrating.
get ready. So it's just like I really can't.
It would just end up seeming like again.
Because you know what, Taylor? You wanted to try to figure out a way to stay in that villa and wait for someone who was your type to come in. And that's disingenuous. It's shady. It's mean. And that's why you're getting the flack and criticism that you're getting now, because you purposefully, intentionally gave just enough effort, but not enough to keep Alandria there as like a support for yourself while you were not interested in pursuing things. Like it's because you led her on and wasted her time. Like that's why.
It could be the edit. It could be the reality. I don't.
So let's see what part next. Next, we're going to talk about Nick being asked about Sierra's video that she posted when she left the villa.
Like I still speak so positively about her after like she posted that, and I spoke so positively about that about our relationship before that. I never once like bashed her. I never once told her like that I wasn't interested in her. I told the first interviews I did, I said like we were exclusive. Like that's a big thing for me. We were in this close relation, like close thing, and that I cared about her. And then like through her leaving the villa and then exploring Alandria, which is what Love Island's about. And I found this like great connection, amazing connection with.
Like I could have done without all of that part. You know what I mean? About like continuing on. But also, he never did say anything unkind about Cierra. She was the one who was throwing stones, and for no reason. For no reason. We would literally say, please stop posting, and Cierra would still keep posting. I had to block her at some point.
Alandria, and then she's bashing me for that. So to me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take that on the chin. That's fine if you feel that way, but I'm gonna keep moving on.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like she thought if she stayed, things would have been different? Meaning maybe you wouldn't have ended up with Alandria? I mean, do you think that things would have been different if she's
like, again, just me being selfish? I would be like, well, I guess that's not something I can answer, right? Like, or just like why waste our energy wondering when that's not what happened and I'm happy here. I would have just loved to hear that personally, but we're not all perfect people. We can't always answer perfectly all the time, and maybe there's some people who really enjoyed his answer, but that's what I wanted to hear back.
But for sure, I mean, maybe like if she stayed, things would probably be different.
Because it's like also like no shit, you know what I mean? like yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's like asking Taylor, like if you had actually treated Alandria well, like could things have been different? You know what I mean? Like you know, of course, you know, and that's not on KeKe. I get that the question was asked, but like for me, boop, next, okay. Moving along, this is the last thing that I learned, and this is in regards to the heart rate challenge, which I can't wait to honestly just see finally. I can't wait to just finally see it.
No, like I really see why Shelly was mad.
That's what I thought.
Like, yo.
That's what and I wish that you saw the episode so you could tell me if there was more that we didn't see.
Was there more, Taylor?
There was more. Apparently the TikTok and the edits
What was
I've seen
the
on
more?
TikTok. See, now you getting messy.
We want the truth and we want
I can't wait to see the full thing. Release the
the
tapes.
facts.
It was more.
It was like riding on the face.
It was more.
Okay, that part I was curious. Like more than that, I'm curious what we're about to see. I'm curious what we're about to see.
Didn't that?
It was more. It was more.
What?
Okay, so how the episode ends, because I'm over. I said I was going to be off by 1 so I could eat lunch. The things left that I wanted to talk about. Nic does all but confirm, because Nic has loose lips. If you've been on Nicolandria's live, listen, Nic can't keep a secret. He's trying though, and Alandria is helping him try to keep things tighter. Okay, but they all but confirmed that Nic heard the rumor, and they didn't say who, but it was obviously Huda. Okay, was not showing up. Okay, he heard rumors that she might not be showing up, but he made a comment to the effect of, I hope that person shows up because they're very important to the drama, or like to the reunion. Okay, so it's clear that when we heard that Huda might not be going, I think that that's something that was like leaked or got out, and I definitely think that that's what he heard. Like I definitely think that's what he heard. Continuing on, Ace with I'm sorry, I was choked. Ace was supposed to be there with them for this live. Nic's comment on that was Ace has stuff that he wants to address with everyone to their face. And Nic also disclosed that Ace doesn't even want to see them right now. He's just keeping everything in. Mind you, this was before the reunion, but he's keeping everything in until the reunion. And Nic, let's take a page. Take a page out of that book, okay? Because you're done hanging out with the guys you were hanging out with on live. You're done hanging out with Taylor, okay? You're done. You're done. You're done. At least I would like you to be done. Overall, there was moments of the interview that I thought were really interesting. There's moments of the interview where I thought I wish Taylor would stop talking. And there's moments of the interview where I thought, I'm glad that I've seen a change in Nic, because if he was still conducting himself this way, I don't have a feeling I would keep supporting him. That's how I felt. So I'm glad that he's done more media training, done more reflection, had more realizations on things that he needs to be intentional with how he speaks. The next thing we're going to get into, just briefly, I just want to show, hold on, let's see. How do I do this? Okay. I want to show the clip from Alandria and Nic's live the other day when Nic first came on. And like I was saying, this is from yesterday. You know what I mean? Like this is literally from yesterday. So they're happy. They're happy. I cheesed for way too long that a 30-year-old woman should be. Way too long.
Hey.
This is so crazy.
I know. How is it still like daytime there? Am I tripping?
We're like 3 hours behind you.
Mind you, before he got on here, he gifted Alandria 1,000 roses and then a yacht. Not me pocket watching Nick too, but the yacht's $600. Okay. So was gifting her stuff and then pulled up to show up.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's crazy. How did you go?
It was good. Don't say the brand yet, but
I wasn't.
Yeah, she's not like you, Nick. She'll keep a secret. If there's one thing Alandria can do, it's keep it buttoned up. She can keep a good secret, okay? Let's see. I also wanted to go forward just a second to this part where they talked about their favorite outfits during press week.
it's the straps with the vintage Versace.
Oh yeah, you did say Versace was your favorite. So between like the Watch What Happens Live and Versace.
Yeah, I'm like very torn. We can tell you.
Well, you know, in that little game thing, you gotta choose. So if it comes between those two, which
Make
one
him
you going with?
choose.
Oh shit! If it's all right, if it was like winter fall time, I'm gonna go the black. If it's
Why would I?
Alandria thinks just like me because when he said that, I'm like, but it's cold. It's cold.
Nick, why would I wear that in the winter? Is it the colors that's like making you think that? Because it was like dark
I
colors.
wasn't thinking about like sweaters or anything. I was thinking like I feel like the winter's like darker colors. The Versace was like, I'm taking you to like Italy.
I love that he likes that Versace outfit because that felt very like, I don't know, like June Cleaver. Like, I don't know. I loved that. I thought it was so cute. I don't want to say it felt like retro housewife, but like it sort of did, but like hot and like on a vacation somewhere elegant, you know?
That's very bright.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing that was funny about this live is she did this starting to like trying to do a Q&A and the questions were getting asked in the chat, but as far as Alandria actually answering them, she tried her best. Okay? She tried her best. Oh my God, that's such a good comment. I'm seeing Devonda Pittman say in the comments, Nick has matured a lot from dating her. Yes. And she talks about that. Like his capacity to change and like to be better for her is something I've noticed. Like he did that even in the villa. And so now I expect him to, and he has, like he's shown us that he has, like keep leveling up, keep doing better for her. I absolutely agree that he's very intentional. I love the fact that earlier in the live, before he was even on, she talked about how she's making a list of places she wants to travel. And every time that somebody tells her a place to travel, she's like, well, let me tell Nick. I'm going to tell Nick, knowing that number one, she would want to travel with him. And number two, that he's going to take her there. That's right, that he's going to take her there. I love hearing both. He was doing like a brand by himself. This will be like the first one he did by himself, I think, because Alandria was there for Kulani's Keenies and then Agua de Kefir. And basically, I'm just waiting to see what happened next. The colors popped on her. Yes, the yellow's mod 60. It was so cute. So cute. Let me see if there's any other moments I wanted to discuss.
London, I've never been.
No, I swear they want to like. I don't want to name drop them, but literally.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh yeah, this was when, okay, so Nick may or may not be attending homecoming at Tuskegee. Was it Tuskegee? I think with Alandria. That's up in the air. And they also talked about Nick wasn't supposed to name like where they were going, but we hear that they were invited to a football game and he throws Cincinnati out there. And as someone who's from Ohio, I'm like, I'll send a family member because I can't get there in time, but I'll send a family member. Also, Alandria is so relatable and real. Like the fact that they ask her, like, what's your cup size? And she's like, 34 double D, maybe 32. Thank you. Thank you. Because now I know if I buy something that Alandria, that they're sitting nice in, mine won't look that way. Okay. It might get a little, but she's blessed by her mother and father and God. Father number 2. We also learned that Alandria is a Gemini sun, Cancer moon, Virgo rising. For anybody who knows something about that, let me know. I need Alandria to get a brand deal with Apple Music immediately, especially after she plugged them twice during this live. Like twice we got to learn that that's her favorite music platform. She has a playlist full with like her favorite R&B that's called Jams. Listen, you need a deal. And I'm so glad I'm not the only one who is secret, like very respectfully, just wondering. There was this one girl who used to be on Fashion Nova, and every time I bought a dress, I knew, not gonna look like this hoe, not gonna look like this hoe. Respectful hoe, positive hoe, loving hoe. Like, I mean, I say that with love, not as an insult, but I'm not gonna look like that. Like after I bought a couple of dresses, I just looked for that model and I'm like, yeah, I see you. I already know. Body doesn't come with the dress. So it's just good to make a mental note, right? Anything else that I wanted to say about the life? Oh, we learned that Alandria loves Ginny and Georgia. She wants to finish that show. We also learned like the ages of her siblings. She has 2 brothers in elementary school, 1 brother in 9th grade, and then she has 2 sisters younger than her, one age 22, one age 24. One of them, I swear to God, Nick dropped the name. I think it was Rosanna or Roseanne. I will be looking through Andrea's followers because I want to see what her sisters look like. But one of them raps and both of them are on TikTok. Come here, Carthens. Come to me because I want to follow all of you. What? Like I'm going to follow all of them. Oh, and by the way, Nick's favorite edit of all time is my favorite edit of all time. And guess who? Guess what? It's the lumberjack. It's the lumberjack edit. People say, what's your favorite kiss? Congratulations, or fix my shirt, or I forget what the other one was. Soul ties. No, my favorite kiss was in that fucking cabin because I was already locked in well before then, But then he brought her out over the shoulder, showing a comfortability around that ass. Sorry. But showing a comfortability. And Alandria showing a comfortability. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Alandria's favorite moment is soul ties. Is soul ties. I heard her voice go up and be like, really? When Nick said that his favorite was, what was Nick's? Oh, the moment where he laid her down because their relationship status had changed in that moment. It's the lumberjack for me on repeat still. Hi, Leah girl. On my lunch break, saw you doing a live. I watched the whole live last night. I love you. That's like, can you write that on my fucking tombstone? Like, can you write that on my tombstone? Like, yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you made it. All right, everybody, that's pretty much like, I hate to leave you guys. It's like I start off the live with heart palpitations and anxious, and then I leave the live nervous. Everybody, don't even think about logging out. Like the live, exit the chat, like the live, say something nice like, Leah, hair looks fucking fantastic, or whatever you want to say. Right. We don't worry about what the back of my hair looks like because the front of my hair looked good. Everybody stay tuned. Janae is in New York right now. I'm going to message her every day and try to see if I can take a train to her and do an episode. I don't care. I want to try. So I will keep on trying. Everybody have an amazing Wednesday. Love is Blind UK batch of episodes 2 came out. Told you Ashley and Billy, the yee yaws, the MAGA in training. That's what maggot should stand for. Maggot in training, MAGA in trainings. I knew they would start having issues, and they did almost immediately. So we'll get into all of that. Everybody, have a fabulous day. Thank you for spending an ounce of your time with me. Love you. To anybody who said I look beautiful, thank you for saying that. You have no idea how much that means to me. Always the funny friend. Just kidding. Bye. Wait, how do I end it?